So a lot of you guys were asking about my skill damage DPS build that I'm using, and I was using for just doing this season, just farming, just playing heroic content, and well, this is going to be the build for you. So I will tell you guys, this build doesn't have the most skill damage, it doesn't have the most weapon damage, but it does a lot of things well to allow you to play the game a little bit different. So if you guys have been looking for a build that you could do a little bit of everything, this is going to be the build for you. You have some crit chance, you have crit damage, you have weapon damage, your skills still hit hard, you still have survivability because of the chest piece talent, and you guys will see how I have this build spec'd out and why I like running it. So obviously this build performs the best when you guys are picking up those trophies, because the Memento Backpack, that's where it excels, right? It grants you that extra skill damage, skill efficiency. So if you guys have been looking for a solo player build to really farm content, that you don't have to use a shield, you can run around with, your skills can put out damage, and you can put out damage, well, this is going to be the build for you guys. I definitely love playing builds like this that give you the opportunity to play a little bit different, because it freshens up the game. And I think a lot of you guys who actually watched my stream when I was playing with this build and were asking me, hey, what build is that? I would love to run something like that, because I'm just tired of always sitting behind cover, or I'm tired of just using my shield all the time. Well, that is what this build is all about. A lot different gameplay, allowing you to enjoy the game in a different way. So we'll be breaking down the full build, but let's finish off this boss just to see how fast we can drop him, because he's about to come up these stairs, and let's just see how fast we melt through him. Holy, that was pretty impressive. All right, let's get in the build. Now, if we get into the build itself, you'll see that we are running the capacitor. Now, the capacitor is probably one of the best ARs in the game, for the fact that if you read the talent on this one, it says for each yellow skill tier gain, you get 7.5% weapon damage. So a lot of extra damage right there. The base damage on this is already 115,000, and that's without the bonuses from the backpack. We have 700 RPM and a 41 round mag. We have assault rifle damage, damage to armor, and health damage. Now, shooting enemies builds a stack to cap of 40. Each stack grants 1.5% skill damage. After 5 seconds, the stats do decay. So your skills are going to get a lot more damage, and you're hitting harder because we have a 6 skill tier. And that's what's actually amazing about this. For the backup, I am running the mop, shotgun damage, damage to armor, armor on kill, for preservation. If I ever get in those sticky situations, I'll switch to this, mow down the enemy, and hopefully get that preservation to proc and that armor on kill to get me back in the game. So how do we have this set up? Well, you can see that we do have the 3-piece on the brand set active. So we have skill health, skill damage, skill efficiency. We have the core attribute of skill tier. We have critical hit chance, skill damage, and then a critical hit chance mod. So yeah, so we are gonna almost get 50% crit hit chance on this build, and I'll show you the final stats once we get closer to the end. For the chest, we have the Wyvern Wear chest piece. This is gonna give us that 10% skill damage. We have 1 skill tier, we have crit chance, crit damage, and a crit damage mod. Now, we do have Unbreakable on here. When your armor is depleted, you repair 95% of your armor. And the reason I decided to go with this versus something with a skill talent that's going to, well, a skill boost talent, right, that gives me extra skill damage, is because the fact that we're gonna need this, right? Because we're gonna be pretty much glass cannon, and I felt like with this build, I wanna be able to still go out there and fight enemies. I don't wanna be hiding behind cover. I want something that's fun to play. So I decided to go with Unbreakable, and that's gonna give me my armor back. And with 913,000 armor, that's actually pretty good. And with having so much crit chance, crit damage on this build, it actually hits pretty hard. For our second piece of Empress, we have the holster, and then we have skill tier, skill damage, and then critical hit damage rolled on this one. For the knee pads is our third piece of Empress, so we have skill tier, and then on this one, instead of doing this skill damage, I decided to add a little bit more crit damage, and then we have crit chance. Now for the gloves, this is gonna be the 1-piece Fenris that's gonna give us that 10% assault rifle damage, because the capacitor is an assault rifle. We have weapon damage, skill damage, and then critical hit damage on here. And then the backpack, which completes this build, the Memento Backpack, weapon damage, armor, skill tier, and that's what's allowing us to get 1 extra blue on here, and allowing us to get 1 extra red on here, and we have critical hit chance on here. Now, kill confirmed is going to elevate both not only my skill talents, right, but also me, right? So because once I build a 30 stack, I'm gonna have 30% weapon damage, 30% skill efficiency, and 3% armor regen. And you remember 30% skill efficiency, that's skill damage, skill haste, status effects. That's everything good about skill builds, and that's why it's so good. And not only that, when I do get a kill, and since I am running around, I'm gonna get 10% bonus armor for every one of those trophies I pick up, but I'm gonna actually get an additional 30% extra skill efficiency and 10% weapon damage. So that's why when I do pick up trophies, this thing just gets even stronger and stronger, and I'm hitting harder, my skills are hitting harder, and that's what I actually love about this build. So for the skills, we are running the assault turret, and then if you look at it, the base damage on it is 106,000 damage, and remember, this is gonna boost once I have a full 30 stack. And then I pair it up with the striker drone, and this has 66,000 damage, and this is also gonna get a boost once I fully get that 30 stack. If we check out the stats on here, we have 48% critical hit chance, 135% critical hit damage, 75% headshot damage, 10% armor damage, and 9% health damage. And then the base damage on this is 92,000. And remember, this is gonna get boosted by 30%. And then on top of that, an additional 10% every time I pick up one of those trophies. So that's why with this build, your skills are hitting hard, you're hitting hard. And the survivability is really what I really enjoy about the build, to be honest. Having the opportunity to put Unbreakable on this build and still be able to hit really hard with my skills, because you guys know a lot of people love running kinetic momentum, which is actually probably one of the better, well, top 2 skill damage talents to put on a chest piece, or glass cannon for all those people who like running glass cannon, and depending on what backpack you run, you know. But at the end of the day, you are very squishy, and with this build, having that Unbreakable, when it does proc and you get that 95% armor, you almost don't have to stop to drop an armor kit, right? And even if there's a cooldown time, you usually don't proc it more than once. Obviously, you saw we did proc it there, but having that alongside having the armor regen, the 3% armor regen on this build, I really feel like makes a big difference. And being able to just fight enemies, run around, no, I'm okay. No, I don't have to be hiding right behind this cover right here the whole time. I can move around, I can pick up these trophies, I can take advantage of it. And I think this is one of those builds that solo players will definitely enjoy the most, and I think a lot of you guys will have fun. Now, if I was running in a group, maybe I would swap out the Unbreakable for kinetic momentum, but that really just depends on your playstyle. But I think if you're looking for a build to play with, this might be the one for you. And that is the build right there. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. This is the full build right here. Enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Hey, nothing but skills out.